had a few of you ask about how I painted Pharaby's Hextiles, so I wanted to go over the steps with you. So the first thing is you're gonna need to clean your Hextiles really good. Wipe those off, vacuum inside of the holes where the buttons go. I just used water to wash mine off. You're gonna paint this, so as long as there's no debris or anything loose on top of it, you should be good to go. And then the next thing is you're just gonna paint it. I have found that a smaller brush works better. Even though it takes more time, it just looks better. The brush lines aren't as bad with a smaller brush. You can paint everything together, like put the buttonhole covers inside the Hextile, if that makes sense, and you can paint it all as one. But then after you're done, just pop those up a little bit so they don't get sealed in whenever they dry. You may need to take those out and sand the edges on them between each coat of paint. I had to, whenever I used a bigger brush, I noticed whenever I use a smaller brush, I didn't have to do that step. I'll link the paints that I used. I just used acrylic paint. I'll link the ones that I got off of Amazon. I'll link the top coat as well. You're probably gonna wanna use around 3 coats of paint. I just painted the first coat on these 3 and I just did white. So what it's been taking is about 3 coats. Then I have to put my top coat on them and that's it. So I let my tiles dry for approximately a day between each coat of paint. You could totally do this quicker. I just wanted to make sure it was completely dry, and I live in a humid climate, so sometimes things do take longer to dry than not. Your final step is gonna be your top coat. I let this dry in the garage for about a week after I painted it on. Use this top coat in a well-ventilated area for sure, but also let it dry somewhere where it's really well ventilated for several days. I'm very sensitive to fragrance and smell and stuff, so it definitely took a few more days for me probably than it would for the average person. I felt like I could smell it, and I'm really sensitive, so I know if I could smell it, then she could probably smell it too. So I do have a page on my website with a link to all of the products that I used. I'll try to link them below too, depending on what platform you're watching this on. Some things won't let me put links below, so if that's the case, then it's always in my link tree.